Hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. A little while ago there was a commenter that asked me what type of games that I'd be interested in playing. I don't really have too many that I'm thinking of right away, but I will show you the ones that I am playing as of right now. This is GM mode on WWE 2K24. You don't really need to be a wrestling fan to actually enjoy this mode in particular. I play this game a lot using the GM mode, but I don't ever really play the exhibition or story mode or anything like that. I haven't even started a story mode. But anyway, I really enjoy GM mode here. And I downloaded a bunch of people, or I created a bunch of people, so that I can show you that you don't really need to know wrestlers to actually enjoy the GM mode. Right now, I'm just putting everything together to try to get the GM mode started. And this is going to be like the longest review of a game that I'm going to show on this video. The other games, they're a lot shorter. And these are the three that I'm kind of juggling right now. Besides, of course, Skyrim and Fallout. Right now, I'm just going to go through this list of people. And I'm going to try to find people that I either created or I downloaded. And I'm going to put them onto my roster. And then from there, we're going to finish the draft. The draft, you have a list of people. It shows you their stats. It shows you how popular they are, their stamina, all that other stuff, their names, if they're good guys or bad guys. That's the green and red marks. Now you see right here, that tells you who's a good guy and who's a bad guy. You also have the style that the wrestlers wrestle in, which is over here. With a close-up, we see the specialist, the fighter, the bruiser, the cruiser, and then the giant. Basically, what you want to do is you want to make bruisers versus fighters, giants versus cruisers, and specialists can kind of go anywhere. Then you also want good guys and bad guys, so you want like a good fighter, a bad bruiser, good giant, bad cruiser, specialist could be whatever. And you try to put together some matches. I am going to cut out a lot of this because I'm just trying to get some people for my team. And I'm going to show you a little bit more about the game. And then, this is going to be the one game that is going to take longer to explain than the other one, because I don't want you to just say, oh, it's a wrestling game, I'm going to roll my eyeballs. I don't want to see this wrestling. I'm not a fan of wrestling. I'm not really playing the game for the wrestling. I'm playing for the GM mode in the wrestling game. If there was a game that was just GM mode and it was just generic characters, they didn't have to be real people, I'd be more than happy to buy that game in a heartbeat. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to cut through some of this stuff because this is just trying to put my roster together. If you can't see the characters that I am choosing, you might be familiar with a couple of them. And we'll see who I can keep and so on and so forth. And I'll show you some more after the draft is over. For right now, we're going to cut it and we'll move on to the next part. All right. Once you pick your roster, you get a pep talk from your boss, and then you start having to build your show. So what I'm going to do is, as you can see, some of these characters that I do have on here, they are actual wrestlers, like Alexa Bliss and AJ Styles. But a lot of them are created characters, some that I've created, some that I've downloaded. But anyway, what you try to do is you try to make good guys versus bad guys, bruisers versus fighters, giants versus cruisers, that type of stuff. And you try to set it up. You also have to look at the popularity, who's more popular, who's not so popular, who has more stamina, who doesn't. Try to figure out what looks like a good match. I got a bruiser and a fighter here, and it's Saddam and Putin. And they're saying that Saddam's a good guy and Putin's a bad guy. And there's a couple little tweaks you still have to do. You can change the role of your characters. So if you have a good guy that you hire to your show and you need more bad guys, you can always take one of the weeks and make that specific character do a promotion and change their status from being a good guy to a bad guy by choosing to change their roles. Anyway, I'm going to put a couple of these matches together. I'm going to try to make them all good guy, bad guy, or at the very least, I'm trying to make them bruiser, fighter, giant, cruiserweight, etc. And we'll see what we can do. When you have matches where there's two good guys or two bad guys fighting each other, those matches usually don't go well with the fans, and you will probably want to put those in the middle of the roster, or of the schedule for the week, instead of the first match and the last match, because the first match and the last match are apparently a little more important than the matches in the middle of your schedule. And also, if you change the match type to a special match, styles, Hell in a Cell, Steel Cage, TLC, which is tables, ladders, and chairs, etc., etc., your ratings will go up a little bit. And the whole point of doing the GM mode is to try to beat out the other shows that you are competing against, trying to keep your employees or your wrestlers happy and healthy, not too injured, because they can get injured. They can get sidelined for weeks at a time. They lose momentum with the crowd, and then they're not as popular when they get back. Their morality starts dropping. Once the morality starts dropping, you start having issues with them. They will start sending you text messages telling you how displeased they are and what you should do to either keep them with you or tell them to take a hike. There's also tiers that you can get. Not tiers like you're crying, but tiers of like arenas that you can get, depending on how many assets you have, how many points you have. Basically, the higher the tier, the more expensive it's going to be, but the better the arena, pyrotechnics, or whatever you have is, the higher ratings you get. And it's all about getting ratings. There's also power cards. And with these power cards, you can improve your show, or you can make one of your wrestlers happy, or you can sabotage someone else's show, or you can, mess with some ratings, or you can get someone out of rehab because they got injured quicker, so on and so forth. There's a lot you can do with the power cards, and they're not mandatory. You can turn them off or turn them on, but they're kind of fun to have. Now, we're just going to go to the show that I put together, and we are going to play it out. So first one is going to be Saddam Hussein versus Putin. And we're just going to simulate this one, see who wins. You don't have to just simulate everything. Either you can, in fact, play the match yourself, or you can actually spectate it. So, I don't know, if you're doing something at your house, you want to just see some sort of CGI match going on real quick, you can go for it. You put your characters, put them to battle, you can watch the match real quick. You will hear the music that all the characters have. The music gets cut out when I make these videos because, copyrights and that type of stuff. I'm a small channel, so I don't think they're that necessary to worry about, but still, you never know. So when the match starts, you will see your characters actually come out through the Titantron, and you will hear the music and all that. Like I said, copyrights, blah, blah, blah. I don't think I need to explain this one. Anyway, we're not going to watch the whole intro because it's going to be boring without the music, but they actually have presidential music playing when he comes out. Unfortunately, you can't hear it. And we are going to make him battle against one of the Wyatt Six. I think it's SICKS. Once again, we're going to cut out the intro because you're not going to be able to hear the music, so it's kind of like pointless. And we're going to fight a little bit. I'm playing as Trump, so I might get a little beat up, especially because Uncle Howdy is actually a wrestler that is signed to WWE right now, and he's not a pushover. But once he gets off me and I can actually attack back, we don't have a problem here. But we'll see how it goes. I don't know what Trump's moveset is, because this is one of the downloaded characters. I don't know if I'd be able to create him or not, but that's pretty good. Whoever made that dude that he has and everything, I have to give them credit. I do have their name. I think I have their name on the download. Maybe I'll put it up on the screen just to give them a shout out. Hopefully I'm not butchering the name, but shout out to Stefich. That is the creator of this Donald Trump character, and I think Stefich did a very good job with this person. But yeah, like I was saying, you can actually play the match if you want. We're not going to play the whole match. We're going to cut it out. We're going to just pause, quit and simulate, and then we'll move on to the next one. Because, this is most of the video just trying to describe how much different things you can do in this game. It's kind of impressive how much time and effort they put into the GM mode. A lot of people say that the older GM modes are better. I don't know. I don't think I have ever had a game that had a GM mode besides WWE 2K23. And they've updated it a little bit since that game and made it a little more challenging, which I don't know if I appreciate yet or not. It's probably just because I'm not great at it. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to simulate the rest of the show, which I did. And then with WCW, you can watch each match, you can simulate it or spectate it, or you can just press the Y button or the triangle button, depending on PlayStation or Xbox controller. And you can just skip the whole show. And you see this drama curve up here. They kind of want your show rating to match that curve. Mine actually did all right. High first match, low second, third match, higher final match. Another pretty funny thing is all the stuff that people say after the matches. I'm going to read some of this to you. Hold on. Osama bin Laden, a bad guy? I never saw it. I didn't even know what to think about Howdy versus Trump. I didn't know who to root for. Strange match. Okay, that promo by Hulk was actually pretty good. Putin writes, what? Did you think Saddam Hussein was going to win today? I was always in control. So, yeah, it's one of the reasons why I put these characters in there. I don't know. Twisted sense of humor, I guess. Saddam Hussein and Putin are both fantastic at tables matches. NXT should pair them up again. And then, of course, they're going to show the other team's matches or whatever. You can read that stuff if you want. And because I did what my boss wanted me to do, I got an extra power card. So, yeah, it's this stuff. And then when those matches are done, you will get some text messages from everyone. Right now, the boss is chewing me out. Let's see what Saddam Hussein has to say. So apparently, for some reason, Saddam's flight was canceled. Interesting. Well, anyway, your people, your wrestlers or whatever, will ask you some stuff like this, and then you have multiple responses that you can give to them. And this progresses throughout GM mode. The first year is 25 different weeks that you have to play through. And like I said, it's in my opinion, it's one of the more fun things that you can do in these wrestling games. So my GM mode, I give a thumbs up to. Alrighty, that's kind of a quick, tutorial about what the GM mode is. I think we've gone through enough of this game. This is one of the games that I'm playing. This was the most complicated out of all the games that I'm playing. There's a lot more into this specific mode. I'm not even playing the legit real game, just the GM mode. Next game that I've been playing is We Love Katamari. This is a more kind of relaxed, laid-back type of game. And you're just this little alien creature dude. And you go and you talk to, at least in We Love Katamari, this game right here, you talk to random people who have quests for you to roll something up for them, whether it's to roll up the mess in their house, or in this guy's case, he's a sumo wrestler. He wants to roll up more food so that he can beat this guy wearing the pink shorts. And as you can see right here, the character that we're going to be rolling onto the ground is rather thin for a sumo wrestler. And please don't try to make any sense of this game. It's one of those games where physics and all that other stuff don't really exist. It's very cartoony. It's very weird. The music is unique. And it's a fun game. And apparently I didn't roll enough stuff to make him big enough. So I just bounced right off of his belly. And now I'm going to get yelled at by my character's father, who is the lord of this land, whatever. Now, this is the second try. I've already completed this area once, and I so happen to get bigger than that sumo wrestler, and that's basically what you do. You have a time limit. You roll your katamari, in this case a sumo wrestler. Usually it's just a ball. You roll stuff up, you make it as big as you need to in the time limit that you have. And if you succeed, you move on. If you fail, then you try again. That's pretty much the whole game. It's just one of those laid-back games. Another one, if you're a little bit older, middle-aged-ish, I would say is that this game is right down your alley. You probably already know what this game is without me even telling you. This is the remake of the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It's a little bit messy, a little jankety, but the base game is pretty much still there. It's still a fun game. I haven't seen too many differences. I have noticed that there is more models of civilians, NPCs, whatever you want to call them. I think there's a couple lines that were changed a little bit. But for the most part, I've also played this game a little bit. It's kind of a throwback game from when I was a kid. And I think if you're in your 30s and 40s, probably even in your 50s, this game most likely has a soft spot in your heart, because it was at the time very innovative and one of the bigger games that you could actually get your hands on. I do know that there was some controversy with it, and because of some sort of file that you could only get to if you had a computer. So I don't know. I think they could have taken care of that a little bit better, but maybe not. And they had to erase this file, which made your game file, if you had the original CD that the game came on, not available. It's not compatible with the new version of the game, even though it was pretty much the same game, minus the quote-unquote hot coffee quest. If you grew up with this game, you know what I'm talking about. If not, I'm going to let you figure that out by yourself if you're curious. I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, still, it's a lot. The map's a lot smaller than I remember it being. You can get around a lot quicker than I remember you being able to. But it was still a fun game, and I'm still playing it. Just definitely has some nostalgia to me. And I know this isn't my normal video, but I wanted to let you know, besides the two main games that I'm playing, Skyrim and Fallout, when I get the chance, if I want something a little different, after the day's pretty much over or whatever, I have a few hours, this is one of the games that I play. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. I hope you got through this video all right, and I will talk to you later. You have a good evening, morning, or afternoon, whatever it is, where you're at. And if you have any comments, or if there's a specific game you want me to try, or if you want to know more information about any of the games that I showed you today, please feel free to leave me a comment and let me know. All right? Thank you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye now.